Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that doesn't get mentioned enough by so many guys who are obsessed purely with upper body training. And I'm not telling you guys you shouldn't care about your chest and arms. Okay, I want to be clear there. I am not saying that. I obviously do curls. I obviously bench press. I mean, you guys have seen me bench 365 with a 2-second pause. Okay, I do care about this stuff. You guys see me doing curls every workout. Trying to bring up my terrible biceps. But when we talk about fitness and health, your lower body training is actually more important. And again, I would never tell someone, if you only pick one, we don't need that if you had to pick one. Because that really is a ridiculous mindset. But in this case, it would be true. I mean, technically, you would be a lot healthier if you only trained your lower body versus if you only trained your upper body. At least with a lot of these traditional movements, because a lot of them would actually grow your upper body a little bit if that's all you did. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to have some curls in here. Show you guys I am not against curls. I'm not against curls by any means. All right. But why do I say this stuff about the lower body? Well, off the top of my head, let's just discuss basic stuff like health, heart health, cancer risk, diabetes, right? These are kind of important things. What are the 3 biggest killers in America? By an enormous margin. In fact, these 3 causes of death, when combined together, exceed all other causes of death added up something like tenfold. If I recall, the death rate in the United States is something like 85 to 90% of all deaths are from these 3 causes. Yeah, no, it's not violence, not accidents. Cardiovascular disease, heart attack and stroke, number one killer in America. Cancer, diabetes are behind it. And I actually forgot which of the 2 is number 2 behind all of it. Actually, if you take strokes out, heart attack is still number 1 and strokes drop to like number 4. But if we count them together as cardiovascular, well, then you got that. That counts as 1. It's still the biggest. It's the biggest whether you have them in there or not. Because strokes kind of fall behind the others. But it's all related. So, which one depends on muscle mass? All of them. Gaining muscle can help prevent every one of those. Now, before someone says, but what about this big bodybuilder? I said gaining muscle. I did not say abusing 55-gallon drums of PEDs, right? Because that's what those guys do. They're not just using the amounts the guy at your gym uses. They're using 20 times. 20 times what he uses. Well, so yeah, of course there's going to be health risks. You can't use experimental and veterinary drugs at 20 times the dose you give to a horse and not expect some problems. Okay, common sense, guys. So set that aside, because I'm actually not exaggerating when I say stuff like that. I'm not joking or exaggerating. I do mean that literally. But set that aside. Gaining muscle is good for those things. Particularly the diabetes and cancer, because we know insulin sensitivity is a big deal. It's an enormous deal. Lifting weights improves and gaining muscle improves insulin sensitivity the most. What are the biggest muscles in the body? The lower body. The lower half of your body contains something like 70% of the muscle in your whole body. I know people are like, well, how come the chest and back are so big? They're not. That's your skeleton. The muscles over it are smaller than you think. So just the quadriceps, the front of the thigh, have more muscles than your pecs and lats combined together by a significant margin. Your calves are bigger than your pecs and your lats, your traps, all of that. They're like double the size, just in terms of muscle in them. Right? And this is not my opinion. This is what cadavers have shown. This is what medical doctors have determined. This is absolute fact. Okay? And that's where we get into glutes, hamstrings, any of that. Well, the muscle mass is protective against those things, and that's where most of your muscle is. Same thing with cardiovascular risk. We know that at this point, the long-term studies are showing that weight training is actually slightly better than cardio for heart health, if you only picked one. But we come back over to that. We don't have to just pick one, by the way. They have separate pathways by which they help. So adding some cardio on top of your strength training and weightlifting is really, really heart healthy. That is super heart healthy. And again, I'm talking about the amount of weight you can lift and the muscle you can build just eating a high protein diet and lifting weights. I'm not talking about when extracurricular substances come into the mix, obviously. Because that can change stuff a little bit. But it can actually reduce the risk of some of those other things still. Believe it or not, some of that can still be helpful. But I digress back over to that point. Lower body. Hey, then we want to talk about losing weight. Which muscles do you think burn more calories? The ones that are at rest most of the time or the ones that are used? The ones that are used. So in other words, if I put 10 pounds of muscle on you in random parts of your body and you walked around just trying to burn calories, which would help you burn body fat, do you think if that 10 pounds of muscle was completely on your upper body versus if it was in your legs, which one would burn more calories? Well, the lower body, because you're using it to walk around and move around on. Okay? The swing weight of your legs alone burns more calories. So people say, well, if that's true, then how come fat people don't burn a lot? They do. They burn ridiculous amounts of calories when they walk. They just can't walk very much. That's the issue. Not that they don't burn the calories. Most morbidly obese people have extremely high metabolic rates. Just carrying that weight around burns insane amounts of calories. They just out-eat it. But back over to the point. All muscle would help you burn calories. Obviously, 10 pounds of muscle on your upper body would help you burn calories and get leaner. Of course it would. It will burn more if it's on your legs. Now, that being said, look at all those factors I described. You're allowed to get both. Okay? So even though all those health factors would benefit from gaining the muscle on the lower body the most, the upper body still helps. Guess what? Gaining muscle in your legs doesn't make it harder to gain muscle in your upper body. Believe it or not. You don't have to pick and choose. You can have both. And they will both contribute to health benefits. And I would say even to the guys who are like, I don't care what my legs look like. I only care about how my upper body looks. Well, you want to get ripped easier? Put 15 pounds of muscle on your legs and watch how much more calories you burn when you go to cut. You know how much easier it is to get ripped? Right? This making sense now? All right, hopefully people get it at this point. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I'll talk to you guys next time.